All right, so welcome to January 10th, 2021. So today's weigh-in day, like I said last week. So either something is working or the scale is grossly off. But this morning I weighed myself, and I actually weighed myself 3 times just to make sure. 336.4 pounds. Which means from last week, that's a total loss of 5.3 pounds. Yeah. So like I said, either something is working or the scale is off. But we'll see how this continues. So far, I'd say that's a positive trend, or negative, if you want to go that route. Anyway, so today I'll be recording podcast like I was supposed to last week, but things came up. But yeah, this week we are recording the podcast. So for those of you that are wondering what podcast, so I co-host a podcast called Millennial Pagan Podcast. It's a great podcast, especially for anybody who's trying to get into paganism. We try to explore the different different sects and the different I don't want to use the term religions, but the different ideologies that are associated with different types of paganism. And we've been doing this show for over 2 years now. And we get guests all the time from different parts of the pagan realm to kind of explain and talk about what their belief system is, what their teachings are, what their practices are. And it's grown leaps and bounds over from when we first started, which is phenomenal. We have listeners all over the world, which is great. I mean, especially with a podcast, you want people from all over to hear you. So that's it's definitely been a blessing, and especially because we're actually getting support. We do have a Patreon that people do support us in this podcast, which is phenomenal. And we give our Patreon supporters an extra show, kind of what we call a mini-sode, and a shorter episode, but it's more just Autumn, my co-host, and I talking about different things, just a little bit more. I don't want to say lesser. So they're topics that we don't think would fill a full hour-long show. So we do about a 30-minute show with it. And typically we don't do guests too much on it, but we do try to cover anything that's there. And I think it's great because we don't really shy away from anything. If there's a part of an aspect of one of the traditions that may seem taboo, we'll still talk about it and we'll give our opinion on it, but we try not to explore it ourselves. We try to bring somebody in who's knowledgeable about that to explain it, to make it better. But yeah, I mean, I highly suggest that, if you guys want to explore that, or if you are pagan and you want to, and you're into podcasts, even if you're not pagan, if you're just kind of wondering what it's all about, it's a great explorative tool to listen to the podcast. And like I said, our regular show is about an hour long. There have been shows where we went a little bit over. There have been shows where we went a little bit under. But that's the great thing about doing a podcast, especially a pre-recorded podcast. We're not set to the constraints of it has to be 60 minutes every time. But yeah. So finally, I got my computer finally back set up to where my work computer is, because I like using the screens. But yeah, we'll show you guys. I'll show you that in a little bit. So I still have to set up my microphone and all that, but you'll see it's here pretty shortly. And this is pretty much my setup. I got my my blue microphone here, and it's actually got a icicle on it. They call it an icicle because it's, well, blue, I guess. I don't know. But it's so I can connect it to my computer. And of course, got the boom arm. It's actually connected all the way through to my computer, and I just talk into it like this. Of course, you won't hear this audio because it's not connected to the phone. But there you go. And then headphones so I can hear everything that's going on. So I'm going to go in and do the podcast here shortly, and see how it goes. And just like that, done with the podcast for the day. And now it's time to get to lunch. So the flavor of the day, another random pick, is salted caramel. So it's also one of my go-to flavors. When I used to go to Starbucks, I used to get the caramel, salted caramel frappuccinos. Anytime they would have like the actual salted caramel flavor, I'd have them do that. But all right, let's give it a try. Ooh. So right off the bat, it's good. I will have to say though, tasting the caramel, not so much salted caramel. Still good. Yeah. I mean, it's still a good flavor. I would have just pinned it as caramel, not salted caramel, but it still has a good flavor to it. Again, not chalky. It's everything I've said before about keto chow. It's good. It is delicious. I definitely drink this flavor again. I'm gonna say it's a 7 out of 10, just because it's because it advertised. It's showing on there salted caramel. I'm just tasting caramel. I'm not tasting salted caramel, and it's kind of what I was looking forward to. But I'm not disappointed. I will say that I am not disappointed at all in this flavor. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Great flavor, great taste. I mean, same thing. Sorry, yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely get this again. Yeah, usually after a podcast, I'm kind of worded out, so it takes me a little bit to get back into the sequence of talking right. But yeah, had fun. Actually, we interviewed an author by the name of Jason Rawls. Jason Rawls. He did a book of poetry, of Norse poetry, and I went ahead and I bought the book while we were talking to him, because I did find it on Amazon, and it's phenomenal poetry, and I'm looking forward to actually getting the book and reading through it. Um, I'm not that much of a book reader, but when it comes to poetry, there's a big difference for me. I love poetry, um, but when it comes to like actually reading a story or reading a novel, yeah, no, that doesn't that doesn't speak to me. Poetry does. So I'm actually very excited to get this book and read through it. Um, I don't really have any other plans for the rest of the day, but it's only about 1:30, so I don't know, something else might come up, and we'll go have some fun. So I may be in the first stage of sugar detox. I have a massive headache, and I'm craving sweets. Ow. I'll be fine. Yeah. I did take a short nap once it first started, but it's still hurting a little bit. So I did take some meds, some ibuprofen. Yeah. All right, so the ibuprofen kicked in, made my head feel a lot better. I did ate dinner. Actually, got dinner from Smashburger. So no bread, just meat, and there goes Elvira again. Yeah, meat. Actually got some egg on there, and like I know they do the fried egg, and avocado. It was really good. It was really good. But I guess that's it for today. So starting another week, we'll see what happens. Uh-oh, somebody's home. Ah! Hi. Why are you running away? Why are you running away? But yeah, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. The cat is meowing. I guess it must be bedtime. But yeah. Yeah, but we'll see what flavor I get tomorrow for the keto chow, and see if I don't know. Tomorrow's a work day. It'll be interesting. And don't forget, the whole spiel: like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. Catch you guys in cyberspace.